Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices Network.
I read your piece around the superseding indictment that you wrote for Substack. Very impressive, very clear. You said in there that this should be taken as a sign that Jack Smith is just getting started. What do you mean by that, and what do you think we should expect going forward following this immunity decision?
Right. So it's clear from the superseding indictment that Smith understands what the assignment is here. And that's to hone the indictment down to the point that it complies with the Supreme Court's directive that he can only charge Donald Trump with non-official conduct, or perhaps with official conduct if he can overcome the presumption that charging official conduct would be damaging to the office of the presidency. That means there are a lot of finely tuned decisions that Judge Chutkan will have to make about which charges can go forward and what evidence the special counsel is entitled to use to prove them. That's the process that we'll see underway here. And I would hazard a guess that Judge Chutkan will not believe that it will need the attenuated time scheduling that Donald Trump's lawyers have proposed.
So, I mean, it must be so resonant for you. It's not just our democracy on the line, Jill, but literally the rule of law. I mean, isn't it depressing to you as someone that's devoted her life to the law that everyone just knows he will get away with all of this if he wins? All of these cases will just go away. We will no longer be a nation of laws. Let's talk about, so Trump's lawyer is opposing, of course, Jack Smith's request to a federal judge in D.C. that they be able to file an extensive briefing on the 2020 election criminal case. Judge Chutkan, who's presiding over the case, set limits on filings to 45 pages unless otherwise granted by her. Smith filed a motion September 21st where he said if he addresses the presidential immunity issue, it would take more pages for his briefing. Trump's team, of course, doesn't want him to be able to make a lengthy brief because it could impact the election. Because, yes, we'll be reminded of what an insurrectionist crook he is. So what's your prediction on that?
I hate predicting the future, of course, but I do think that there is every reason in the world why Smith's motion will be granted. He needs to be able to lay out the information in order for the judge to make a ruling on the stupid immunity decision. Yeah. The court said there are three categories, and in order for Smith to show what is rebuttable as not being official conduct, but official but not core responsibility, he's got to lay out all the things that were done and why they are not core responsibilities. And what Trump doesn't want is for the facts to come out. Right. God forbid people should know the truth. Right. And so I think that's, I want to go back, you just said going back to 1943. Well, the Sisters-in-Law just did a show in New York last Friday, and I went on Thursday night to see Suffs, which is an amazing, amazing play, but very depressing because, it starts in the early 1900s, and then it takes us forward to ERA. And it's supposed to inspire you to keep on marching, to keep on trying. And I will. I'm not giving up. Right. But it's so depressing that I am still working on something that started in the early 1900s. Why don't we have the Equal Rights Amendment? President Biden, if you're listening, you can do it. Your last official act should be to order the archivist to publish the Equal Rights Amendment. Please, women of America, write to the White House and tell him to do it.
Yeah. It's, I just had Joan Baez on last week, and it really is all the stuff that you think, the stuff you fought for in the 60s that you thought we won. It is astounding that we're sitting here in 2024, right?
It's remarkable. I started working for the first time on ERA after I stopped being hatch-acked when I left the government, 1976. Why in 2024 is there still not an Equal Rights Amendment? And frankly, I can make the legal argument very fast. There is an Equal Rights Amendment. 38 states ratified it. Any state that attempted to de-ratify, it's illegal. You can't do it. And the timeline was not part of what was sent to the states for ratification, so it has no bearing. It is officially passed, and it just needs to be published by the archivist.
Well, we've said it many times this morning, but it just seems like, God bless people like you and Mark Elias, that we have to just hope, like in Nebraska, hopefully in Georgia, these illegal electoral shenanigans seems like too fun a word.
Right. Yeah.
I'm going to say agree. That, you guys will have, do your work. We have to just do ours and get out and vote and make sure everyone we know is registered. Check again and again. Vote as early as you possibly can. But I have to say, despite all of it, Jill, I'm really optimistic we're finally going to break this highest and hardest glass ceiling, as we say.
I'm optimistic, and part of the reason is I just cannot bear to think of the alternative.
Yeah.
It is too horrible. All through Watergate, I never feared that democracy would end.
Yeah.
I always believed that he would be out of office as he was. And Trump just is a different category. I'm not even sure if we had indicted and tried Richard Nixon, that it would have been enough of a warning to someone like Donald Trump, who has no sense of shame and who totally believes he's above the law. I mean, Nixon said it, but he really, really deeply believes it.
The difference, as we've talked about many times, is the Republican Party. There's no go-waters. And we would disagree. I probably disagree with my dad on a lot of stuff today. I mean, he's been gone 40 years, but they had at least decency. They believed in democracy and in the rule of law. And this whole party, I mean, Liz Cheney just said it, that I don't know how this party even survives in its current form.
It doesn't. It absolutely, totally doesn't. We now have a Trump party, and there's a few people who haven't left yet, who should and will form what used to be. I used to respect Republicans. I used to be able to debate Republicans because they accepted facts. Nowadays, you have Fox News, and they don't have facts. And the people who listen to Fox News, when you say, well, and they go, well, I don't believe that. I believe the election was stolen. So we got to get back to facts. We have to get back to making sure that everyone who listens to you not only votes themselves, but brings 3 other people to the polls.
There you go.
That makes the difference.
And I cannot hear you say facts enough in your Chicago accent, except when you say fact pattern, and that's even better. I look forward to
LinkedIn, who's a accent coach, just contacted me.
Oh.
I'm not paying attention. I love my accent.
We love it too.
Oh my God! If you lose your Chicago A, I will.
Your flat A.
I will come after that dialect coach.
Good.
All right. I look forward to them getting their party back, us getting our country back, and them getting it, and me going back to hating every single thing Michael Steele and Liz Cheney say.
Yes.
Okay. But on the issues.
Right.
All right.
There's no denying it. The vibes are really good right now. But vibes alone won't save our democracy. We need votes. At the Grassroots Democrats HQ, we know what it takes to win elections. Knocking doors, making calls, sending texts, and writing postcards. If we're going to elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz and give them the Democratic Congress to pass their agenda, then we need to roll up our sleeves and talk to a record number of voters between now and November 5th. But let's be clear, we can't do it without you. So, are you ready to work? This is a fight for freedom and our future, and everything is at stake. Don't wake up on November 6th wishing you had done more. Join us. Go to grassrootsdems.org today to sign up to volunteer, and let's go win this thing.